Namaskar. Thank you so much, Gupta Sahab, Patak Sahab, Ravi Sahab, for allowing me to express as the stakeholder, which is not from your own side, but maybe the company or the bank which comes from Jaipur, which has been built from Jaipur. So, welcome to you all on this amazing conference, which has its own very meaningful purpose, right? Because I strongly believe that without revenue, you can't build any kind of reforms or any kind of development. And we all know this that what a way the India is growing themselves from last now good 10 years, and our GDP is around north of 6%, and we all expect that we'll be doubling our GDP next maybe 6 to 7 years from here. So, and in that context, the revenue management is so important. Be it government revenue, be it tax revenues, be it private sector revenues. We all need to come together to build a very effective way, right? And I must admit that being in the business from last 28 years, sir, I have seen so much of compliance and so much of purpose to build a revenue to the next level. I think I would say that even the tax compliance was not there in maybe 20 years back in this country, but the way the department has come forward, the way the government has come forward, the way the whole capital market has supported the whole mission to build a bigger and better balance sheets, and thereon, we can get the better revenue and the tax and everything. So in this context, I would just say that banks are playing a very, very pivotal role. We certain times classify banks into public, private, small, maybe cooperative banks and all those things. But in my opinion, every bank platform is important, right? Because I think just want to share one data, like sir, that India has around 180 lakh crore of deposits. Out of that deposits, 60% is only with public sector banks, 40% deposits are with private sector banks, and 90% of these deposits are in loans. In that loan participation, public sector bank do around 55%, wherein private sector banks are doing 45%, right? So I think if we banks are doing private sector banks, because I represent private sector banks, if private sector banks are doing 45% loans of this country, and that are growing by this year we are growing by 20% kind of thing, right? And deposits is growing by 14-15%. So I think this growth rate itself denotes that India is on right track. The more and more credit, I understand that more credit is around retail, but I think credit around commercial sector is also growing north of 10%. So if we are providing as a bank, because we are the medium, we are the channel to build deposits and to lend the money, right? And you know that money is given to those people who need it for maybe for retail, for the business, for any kind of work, right? So I think as a banks, we are doing our job in providing this kind of loans. And you have seen in last maybe 3 years post COVID, banks balance sheet has become very stronger, and the NP has come down to the now one of the best in the last 75 years. So we as a bank, we as institution also feel free to lend money, right? And in my opinion, more and more you lend, the more and more economic prosperity will be there, and then people will earn and they will pay taxes, right? I think we are playing our own role, and of course you all know that AU belongs to Rajasthan. It's your own bank, and we are a small finance bank. By virtue of design, sir, by virtue of design, I think RBI also has enabled us to really do the financial inclusion, right? Because our 50% loan has to be less than 25 lakhs, our 25% branches has to be in unbanked areas. So I think by including those areas, which was not there before, we are also making those people pay some kind of tax or participate in this journey of financial inclusion or building the nation, right? So with this, my own limited time, and I just want thank you so much for allowing me here. It's your bank, and with my all folded hands, because it's Rajasthan and Gujarat more participation here, and of course the entire India participation. Do support us, because at AU we always call it like, we have a Robin Hood model, because we price the deposit at higher rate. You would have seen our rates displayed outside, which is around 7.5, sorry, 8.5 around your FDR, 7.25 around saving accounts. And why we do this? Because we have the ability to deploy this money in a semi-urban and rural areas, right? And in that way also we bring lot much of inclusion, lot much of prosperity, and lot much of effect or impact in those markets, right? So I would urge everybody here, because it's not easy to build a bank, right? It requires a lot of trust also, right? And I think we are just 6 years in our journey, but we have crossed a 1 lakh crore kind of mark now. And with your support, with your trust, I strongly believe that with your love, with this kind of my presence of this on this stage, give you some kind of I would say belief that we are on the right path, and we also want to participate more and more in this journey. And I hope that this conference will allow you. And I hope, because I haven't seen much this kind of conference where all civil servants come together and want to discuss the effective way to build more revenue. I hope we will learn lot and lot from this kind of conference, and want to be more cleaner at our side, right? Because I sometimes believe that the way the India is progressing, our tax structure is also getting evolved, and I just want to request my every taxman there that allow us as a private player to understand the whole evolution process, because it will take some time, because we have certain baggages in past. And I hope with the continuous dialogues, continuous this kind of insights from this kind of conference, it will mature us also, and we will also equally participate in your whole mission. So thank you so much. Pleasure. Thank you so much.